Live from the campus of Penn State University, this is PSN News. It's Monday, October 14th. We have all you need to know about renovation plans for on-campus housing, as well as more on-campus restaurants facing food safety violations.
We also have more information on voter registration rulings in the South, along with entertainment, sports, weather, and an interview. Stay tuned. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Emma Goldkopf.
And I'm Jordan Spagnolli. Penn State announced at a council meeting last week its plan to renovate on-campus dorms, including ones in Pollock Halls. The dorms in Pollock have undergone very little change since they were built in 1960 and 1964. 9 dorms in Pollock are expected to begin renovations in phases next year and will continue through 2030. The university also plans to add more bike storage and renovate Hamilton Halls, on West Campus, which was built in 1950.
Cafe Laura was found with 7 food safety violations during a routine inspection. The restaurant located in the Mateer building violated cleanliness and temperature control rules, such as broken lids in the salad bar and a sink blocked by water bottles. The inspection report states that the person in charge did not exhibit adequate knowledge of food safety. Several things were corrected during the inspection, and the facility has submitted an updated food cooking plan for approval.
State College Police is asking the community for help after 17 cars belonging to members of multiple fraternities were damaged. The report says the suspect damaged several cars parked along fraternity lots on East Fairmount Avenue and Locust Lane early in the morning on September 8th. The police department is asking anyone with information on the incident to contact the department by phone, email, or an anonymous tip on their website.
A former church in Patton Township suffered extreme damage from a fire last week, the second church to be set ablaze in the last month. Officials responded around 3 a.m., but crews were pulled out of the building when the roof collapsed. State police believe that both of the fires could have been intentional. No one was hurt in either of the fires, but the cause is still unknown. An investigation is ongoing to see if these fires are related and intentional. Now, what can students expect outside this week? Student meteorologist Daniel Weaver is live in the studio with the latest details. Daniel?
Thanks, Emma. What I can tell you that you can expect is that it's going to be quite chilly this week. In fact, it was already chilly this morning. Well, it wasn't chilly this morning. It's actually chilly this afternoon. Temperatures this morning around right after midnight were 59 degrees, which was a high. And then today was another one of those weird days where the temperature just kept going down as the day progressed with a low of 43 degrees. And that actually happened just a few hours ago around 2 o'clock this afternoon. So as we head throughout the day, we can expect more or less the same from that. So right now at the Arboretum, we got mostly cloudy skies, which has been the case for most of the day. And it is a little chilly out there, too, with the temperature of around 46 degrees this evening. But look at that. It's feeling like 42, and that is because of that wind blowing at 9 miles an hour. So just a time lapse of the past temperatures across the Commonwealth. Again, we had mostly in the 60s, maybe some 70s yesterday. But then that cold front came through this morning and then dropped those temperatures down quite a bit. Temperatures are now mostly in the 40s as of 7 o'clock this afternoon. And because of that, we have a frost advisory, because temperatures are expected to be in the low 30s, around 35. So frost conditions are expected across most of the Commonwealth, and it will be the first frost of the season if it does get that cold enough. If not, it'll get colder at some point soon. It's going to be quite chilly this week. Wind speeds, though, it's quite windy out there. I was on my way out to class this morning, and the wind just hit me like a brick. And it's quite windy out there, 10 miles an hour across the Commonwealth. But when you tag that on with the cooler temperatures, it feels like temperatures, or what we would normally call wind chills, are in the 40s, low 40s, some 30s. 42 is what it feels like in State College, 40 in Franklin, 46 in Pittsburgh, and 36 is what it feels like right now in Johnstown. And it is quite cooler than where it was from this time yesterday, and that's all thanks to a cold front that moved through the region overnight. So as we look at our current satellite and radar, looks like we're having some radar artifacts thanks to the sunset, but otherwise just a few scattered showers, nothing really too significant. And if we zoom out across the rest of the Northeast, if we look out towards the east, we have that area of low pressure along with that big cold front. That's what brought us the cooler weather for today and will continue to bring us the cool weather as we head throughout the night and into tomorrow. So to top it all off for tonight, we're expecting a low of around 35 degrees with partly cloudy skies and a little breezy out there too with the west wind of around 5 miles an hour. As we go throughout the day tomorrow, clouds will continue to linger, maybe a slight chance of a shower or two, especially the further north you go. Bradford might actually see a first snow of the season, but no snowfall accumulation is expected. And as we go throughout the rest of the week, temperatures will gradually continue to climb back up with highs back in the 60s and maybe even 70 by next Monday. And then for a 7-day forecast, we can see that even more detail. No big chances of rain, maybe a few scattered showers tomorrow, but nothing too significant. Wednesday, partly cloudy skies, and then Mr. Sun is back out for the rest of the week and into the weekend with temperatures climbing right back to average. So gotta hang in for this cool weather for a bit before things warm back up. Now back to you, Emma.
Thanks, Daniel. Now stick around because after the break, Annika Wagner will have the latest in sports.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Annika Wagner with your sports update. This past Saturday, the Penn State football team defeated the University of Southern California in a thrilling matchup that was decided in overtime where the Nittany Lions emerged victorious over the Trojans 33-30. After heading into the locker room at halftime trailing 20-6, Penn State managed to close the gap and come back for the win. Nittany Lions tight end Tyler Warren had a game that would cement his name in the Penn State history books. Warren caught 17 passes to tie the FBS single-game record for tight ends. The senior tight end accounted for 224 receiving yards to break the program's single-game receiving yards by a tight end record, which he broke previously this season. During the game, Warren snapped the ball and caught the ball for a touchdown in the same play. Next, Penn State has a bye this week. Penn State women's soccer fended off Minnesota in their final regular season match at home, winning 3-2 this past Sunday. The Nittany Lions struck first with a goal by Kaylin Wolf just 55 seconds into the game. The goal was sophomore Wolf's first goal of her collegiate career. The Golden Gophers would go on to score 2 goals within minutes of each other to take the lead. But Penn State's Caitlin McBean would score again for the blue and white to tie the game at 2 apiece heading into halftime. Redshirt senior Olivia D'Amico would be the hero for the Nittany Lions, as her goal late in the second half would give Penn State the lead to close out the game. The go-ahead goal was D'Amico's first goal of the season. Looking forward, Penn State will go on the road to California to take on UCLA this Thursday. The 2-3 New York Giants hosted the 1-4 Cincinnati Bengals this past Sunday for Sunday Night Football. The Bengals entered MetLife Stadium and emerged victorious, winning 17-7. The contest was a defensive battle, with Cincinnati's offense putting just enough together to come out on top. The game highlighted the struggles of Giants quarterback Daniel Jones, as Jones had a completion percentage of 53.6% and 1 interception. Wide receiver T. Higgins accounted for 77 of the Bengals' 208 receiving yards in the game, as he reeled in 7 catches, marking his 3rd straight game with at least 6 catches. Looking forward in the National Football League, Monday Night Football this week will feature the 2-3 New York Jets hosting a division rival in the 3-2 Buffalo Bills. That's all for your sports update. After the break, Jaden Vogel has the latest in the world of entertainment. Stay tuned. Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Jaden Vogel with your entertainment update. PA Dignity Day is an event that celebrates treating everyone with kindness and respect. It takes place on Wednesday, October 16th from noon to 5 p.m. at the Penn Stater Hotel. It's part of Global Dignity Day, which started in 2008 to promote dignity and unity all around the world. This is free to attend and offers talks, group discussions, and workshops. This year's keynote speaker is New York Times best-selling author Rosalind Wiseman. To attend, you need to register at Outreach's website. If you love smoothies, you're in for a treat. Tropical Smoothie Cafe is opening on October 17th, located at South Gardner Street. They are offering over 20 smoothie flavors, as well as bowls, flatbreads, and wraps. They are open 7 days a week, from early in the morning and well into the evening. This location will join other places to eat like El Jefe's, Meza, and talks of a soon-to-be Buffalo Wild Wings on the first floor of the Maxim building.
Fall activities are in full swing. Kylie Smith is live in the studio now with more details on a festive event downtown. Kylie?
Thanks, Jaden. This weekend, I got the chance to attend the annual Downtown Fall Festival, where Youth Service Bureau, local nonprofits, and family organizations put on a great event for the community. Let's take a look. On October 12th, Penn State hosted their annual Downtown Fall Festival from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on South Allen Street. This festival brought the community together as it invited all friends and family to join in the celebrations. You could pick free pumpkins to decorate or participate in the numerous fun activities hosted by nonprofits around the area, and even grab a bite to eat from the local food vendors of State College. Here behind me on the 200th block of South Allen Street, Penn State is hosting its 23rd annual Downtown Fall Festival with local businesses and Penn State organizations. Let's check it out.
It's a free community event where every child can come down and take home a pumpkin with them. They can decorate it at the Growing Tree pumpkin decorating table behind me here. We've got a photo station, we have pony rides, a bounce house, a fun house, balloon animals, most everything is free. We also have a lot of nonprofits that are tabling down here with free community kids activities.
We're here at a great event, this fall celebration here on Allen Street today. And we like to, Center Lifelink likes to attend as many events as possible to show people that we're here to help save lives and to help protect the people of the community and be here in support of your medical needs and transport.
Fall Fest 2024 was sponsored by Geisinger, and more information can be found on downtownstatecollege.com. Reporting in University Park, I'm Kylie Smith for PSN News. Tomorrow, October 15th, Downtown State College is hosting Tuesdays on the Terrace from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., where you can perform a song, recite a poem, or use the open mic in whichever way it inspires you most. Back to you, Jaden.
Thanks, Kylie. On a national note, Sean Diddy Combs is finally set to go on trial in May of 2025. After vulgar security camera footage was leaked of Combs beating his girlfriend at the time, he is facing serious charges of racketeering and sex trafficking. He pleaded not guilty to these charges and is currently in custody at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center after being denied bail twice. He will return to court on December 18th, 2024 for a hearing on related matters. That's all for your entertainment update. Coming up next, interview anchor Christian Audia will be speaking with Dalia Garibay, the Vice President of the Mexican American Student Association. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Christian Audia, and with me tonight is Dalia Garibay, the Vice President of the Mexican American Student Association. Thank you so much for coming in tonight, Dalia. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, so let's get it started. So first question, what is MASA?
So MASA is the Mexican American Student Association here at Penn State University, where we just kind of get a lot of Mexican American students in one place, and we just try to foster an environment that they can feel at home.
All right. And how can someone get involved in MASA if they wanted to start up?
Okay, so we have our GBMs every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Every other week is an actual GBM, and then the weeks in between are just study nights where we just foster an environment that people can succeed academically.
All right. And what is your role as Vice President encompass in MASA? Like, what are your big responsibilities?
Yeah. So I am the right-hand woman kind of to the president. So if anything happens to the president, I'm kind of going to step in, just make sure everything's happening. And on top of that, I am kind of like a creative liaison for people. If anybody ever needs to talk about anything, they can always talk to me, and I talk about anything that like I think creative-wise. Like if I want something to happen, I'm going to talk about it and make sure that it's being done.
All right. And what's your favorite part about being Vice President of MASA?
I think my favorite part is just I feel like I have more of a expertise now. Last year I was outreach chair, so I didn't have that much of a say. And now as Vice President, I kind of do have more of a say, and people kind of see me more as like an authoritative figure. And on top of that, I can talk about things that we want to do in MASA with other multicultural clubs, and we can collab with other people and just try to have fun, spread the word about Mexican American culture.
So speaking of the other like Spanish Heritage Club on campus, what has MASA done with like the other clubs on campus to foster a more diverse and inclusive environment in Penn State?
So I think for DSA, which is the Dominican Student Association, I think we're trying to have a collab with them. We love to collab with the Colombian American Student Association, and like clubs like that. We really want to make sure that like Mexican American students have a say here and have an area where they can feel included. But it's not just those type of students. We also want every Hispanic student on Penn State campuses to have a say, especially during Hispanic Heritage Month, because it's a really big time where we can all feel included.
Speaking of Hispanic Heritage Month, what has been the biggest thing that MASA has done in celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month as it is coming to a close tomorrow?
I feel like since it's kind of the start of the school year, we've really been trying to figure out what's really going to happen, what we're trying to do. We're trying to plan a lot of events that are going to happen towards the end of the school year, but right now we're really focused on GBMs. That's what we've really been focused on during Hispanic Heritage Month. But the one really important event that we've done is we've had a carne asada, which a carne asada is kind of like a cookout. So we had it like at someone's apartment, and all of Ybor, we made like foods such as tacos, we made chicken, we made rice and beans, and it was just such a great environment to kick off Hispanic Heritage Month, and we got to have such yummy food.
That sounds so great.
Yes.
So what is your biggest goal for MASA?
I just really want Hispanic students to feel like they have a place here at Penn State. I know since we're at a predominantly white institution, people kind of feel out of place, and imposter syndrome is something that can definitely happen to a lot of Hispanic students. So MASA is here to just make sure that they feel like they have a say, make sure that they feel like they're not alone, and a bunch of us have had the same cultural like events happen to them, and like they can find people who think just like them and like want to just learn more about Mexican American culture. It's not just for Mexican American students, as I said, it's for anybody who wants to learn about the Mexican culture.
Gotcha. So what have you learned from being the vice president of MASA? Like, what's one thing that after graduation you'll take away from being the vice president?
I've definitely learned about criticism. I feel like I've really had to learn how to be critiqued, especially in like a big setting. I've also learned how to work in a group setting very much. People have such distinct ways of learning, and I've had to adapt and make sure that everyone feels included and everyone's needs are met.
And how has MASA shaped your Penn State experience?
So I joined last year during my sophomore year because MASA was kind of like a little bit dry my freshman year. And I feel like last year I definitely was able to kind of get more involved in like a lot of Hispanic cultural things happening at Penn State. I felt so much more at home. I felt like I met people who have the same type of cultural significant things that have happened to them. And it's just so cool to see them on campus and just like know that I have so many friends here that like have like the same types of feelings and stuff like I do.
Gotcha. So it's like a club that people can relate to, especially if like a home away from home.
Yes, it's definitely a home away from home for everybody. I just really want people to know that at MASA you can feel included. At MASA you are like heard. I'm definitely gonna like, if you go to MASA, like I'm always gonna be the one to come up to you and talk to you. And I'll be the one to just make sure that you feel included. If you ever need help with like studying, I'm always gonna be here. If you need a study buddy, there's people in MASA there for you.
So what people should take away is join MASA.
Yes,
join MASA.
Join
MASA's
MASA.
on the rise
yes,
for Penn State
we definitely
students.
are. We really want everyone to know like we want to have a lot of things happening. We want people to come to our events. Definitely sometimes we have free food. I know that's a ticket for people to come in. We want to have a lot of events that people can show up and make sure that they feel included.
Gotcha. I love this so much.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Dolly, for coming to the studio today and talking about your experiences with MASA.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now stick around because coming up next, Jordan and Emma will have the latest of news from across the nation.
A federal judge turned down Cornel West's request to be included on the presidential ballot in Pennsylvania. U.S. District Judge J. Nicholas Ranjan said he has serious concerns about how PA Secretary of State Al Schmidt is applying restrictions in state election code. Ranjan said the laws applied to West seem to be designed to restrict ballot access to non-major political candidates and appear to run afoul of the U.S. Constitution. Ranjan speculates if the case was brought sooner, the results may have been different.
A federal judge ruled that voter registration will not be reopened in Georgia despite disruptions from Hurricane Helene. The deadline to register was last Monday, and Judge Eleanor Ross said that the three groups that sued did not provide sufficient evidence that their members were harmed. A court in Florida ruled the same in a similar case, while a court in South Carolina extended their deadline. The Georgia judge said that she didn't know of one voter who had been harmed or would likely be harmed by failure to register to vote.
Authorities in eastern Tennessee investigated a container suspected of holding large amounts of dynamite. Knoxville Police Department spokesperson Scott Erland said residents within 3,000 feet of the area were encouraged to evacuate while they dealt with the situation. Erland said an employee at CMC Recycling used a torch to open the steel box, which caused what was inside to start smoking. The box tested positive for elements consistent with dynamite, and technicians had to remove the explosives by hand. After a 36-hour lockdown, the evacuation was lifted.
The families of people killed in Boeing 737 MAX plane crashes attended a federal court hearing in Texas, where Boeing lawyers argued for a settlement. The Justice Department and Boeing reached a plea agreement in July, in which Boeing would plead guilty to conspiracy to defraud the federal government by deceiving regulators. Now, Judge Reed O'Connor is asking why he should accept a deal that would prevent him from punishing Boeing more than was already negotiated. The family's lawyers hope the judge will not accept the deal, but no ruling has been made yet. That concludes our show tonight at PSN News.
Be sure to check us out on Twitter and Facebook at PSN News, on Instagram at Penn State Network News, and to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/PSN News.
Have a good night and stay safe, Penn State.